Mike, this is the reunion. Oh my goodness, man. Mike, it feels, you know how long it feels like I've seen you? It has been too long. It feels like it's been like 2 years, 7 months, 3 days, 24 hours, 7 minutes. So really that's 4 days.
Okay.
4 days. Okay, fine. 23 and a half hours, 7 minutes, 33 seconds.
Yeah, it has been long.
Yeah, you know, like, and people have been asking, they're like, what, where are the goods? Where are the goods? You know, we've been waiting, they've been anticipating it, man. But you know what, guys, it has been a long time coming. We apologize to those of you, you know, the 7 to 10 people who religiously tune in, week out, and they wonder, like, you know, what's been going on, man? How come Mike and Brent haven't been dishing out the goods for us, you know? But guys, we are back. It's been a long time coming. You know what, Mike? How have things been the last, like, what? It's been like 2 months.
Oh man,
since
crazy!
I've seen
Just
this guy.
Crazy.
You know, like, how's work, man?
Works crazy.
Guys, you can blame Mike for the fact that it's been this long.
Yeah.
Mike has been putting in a lot of time at work, and you know he's been doing his thing, but he was finally able to get down this weekend, and also it's partly okay. Fine, it's a 50-50.
Yeah, it's 50.
All right,
Yeah,
50-50.
I agree.
Because there were a couple weekends when Mike was like, "Hey, I'm down. You want to record?" And I'm like, "Man, I'm like, I was in a pool of self-pity, you know." But
it's crazy how busy life is.
Yeah, like life just gets busy all of a sudden,
yeah.
you know. But yeah, it's. Guys, Mike told me, he was just like, you know, let's get together today. He was very, you know, specific with his timing. He literally was like, let's record from 10 a.m. to 12:55 p.m. Like,
you know, it's a thing I do. Like, I'm booking a lot of meetings. I've taken a lot of meetings. And
yeah,
like,
so
I take meetings on like the quarter. Like, I'll do like, oh, let's meeting to like 1:15 or like 12:55, because then what it does, it gives me 5 minutes to like have a coffee, get set up, and get ready for a next meeting.
Yeah, well, you know what, Mike? I set my alarm for 9:15 this morning, and I haven't woken up at 9:15 in like 4 months. like you know, since I switched over to night shift, like 9:15. That's usually the time I'm going to sleep rather than waking up.
Oh
so,
man.
You know, so
how are you feeling then?
I am feeling like I've been smoking weed for the last week and a half. My eyes are beautifully bloodshot red and a little chinky. A little chinky.
Like daylight scares you? Like,
daylight,
oh my God.
yeah. You know,
oh my God, daylight.
You start to feel like a vampire. Yeah. Just like, I'm not used to being awake at this time. I'm really not, you know. So this, you know, this guy I went to college with, what up to Mr. Teron Smith? He just said, I set my alarm at 5 a.m. I'm working at 5 a.m. So I got you beat on that one, man. But yeah, you know, it's good to be recording again, man. And for those of you who have lost track, this is episode 49.
49.
Like,
we were trying to hit 50.
We were trying to hit 50, and you know what? Even Mike wanted to do like a double episode. Get you some coffee. Teron just told me, hey, yo, dude, I don't drink coffee. You know what, Mike? I may be the one guy I think I know in life. I've only ever had 1 cup of coffee, and that's total.
Oh.
That is like through all the different times that I've sipped coffee.
Where was this cup of coffee?
Okay, I'll tell you where it started.
Okay.
So this started back in Trinidad. All right. I was maybe like 4 years old. And
that was
swear,
your first cup of coffee? I see why you hate it.
Yes. So this is what happened. Because back home, we drink tea. You know, every morning I have tea with my breakfast. And so my grandmother was getting what I thought was her cup of tea ready. So I just went and I just grabbed the cup and took a sip, right? And it was pure black coffee, Mike. Like, she hadn't added any sugar, nothing, no cream. There was nothing in it, just black coffee. And it was the nastiest thing I had ever tasted to that point in my life. And I vowed never to drink coffee after that. And, like, I think literally throughout my life, I have maybe, you know, from having a few sips here, maybe I've had like a half a cup of coffee in my entire life. Like
total,
like total,
cumulatively.
Yeah, like I've never had an ice cap even.
Oh man, they're good. They're sweet.
I've heard they are. I've heard they are, and I think I maybe had one sip of ice cap, like where someone's just like, dude, you got to try it, man. And I tried it. And I was just like, nope, coffee. And yeah, so like I've just never drank coffee like that,
Maybe one of these days. So if you see in the back there, Jonah's got the Nespresso.
Is that the Tassimo thing?
It's kind of like that, but this is the one that like George Clooney was advertising.
Okay,
he did the commercial.
All right, I do recall.
It's amazing, dude.
Is it?
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Maybe one of these days I will take the Nespresso challenge, So, but you know what, Mike, man, like the last few months have been great. They've been good, they've been bad, but you know what? Hey, I'm alive and well, Mike.
Nice.
And guys, I'm looking at Mike. Mike has that beard. It is fully intact, man. That's a thing of beauty.
Thank you.
And you still got those curly locks, so I gotta love that.
I'm getting ready for my winter look.
The grizzly look is coming on. Nice.
It's good.
Mike,
it's gonna be cold in Niagara.
This is my winter look. I can't grow anything. Man.
That's your summer look as well.
Yeah, it's my all year round.
All season tires.
All seasons. Yeah, that's it, man. But. I was not blessed with facial hair, nor was I blessed with sideburns. My son's got longer sideburns than I have, and he's a year. He just turned a year last month, and he's got better sideburns than I got.
You're like, we're never gonna cut it.
Yeah,
he's gonna be like one of those Wolverine babies with long arms.
But hey, man, last time we recorded, Mike. We did an episode about abuse in the relationship, So if you're dealing with abuse in your relationship, we talked about some things like that. And, so I decided this episode, I thought we would have recorded it much sooner.
Yeah.
But I decided, hey, we're going to do the good things that you want in your relationship.
Yeah.
Tehran's having a laugh about my all-season look. Hey, this is what I was blessed with. Good thing is, Mike, I've never had to buy a razor.
Oh.
I literally have never owned a razor in my life. Like, I don't have to shave. So I'm laughing at all you guys that got to shave on a daily basis or every other day, or if you're like Mike, every 3 hours. I swear if Mike shaves at 2 p.m., by 4:30 he's got his 5 o'clock shadow showing already, But yes, I was blessed with no facial hair. It's a gift and a curse, Mike.
Oh yeah,
it's a gift and a curse. On one hand, I can't appeal to women who like facial hair. It just doesn't happen. I'm not in that boat. I can't put hashtag bearded men on my posts. It just doesn't. I can't do it. But on the good note, I can put hashtag hairless men all over that.
Hashtag babyface.
Yeah, hashtag babyface. Hashtag prepubescent, face.
Hashtag smooth like a seal.
Yeah, smooth like a seal. There you go, But hey, you know what? Getting into this, Mike, I'm going to bypass the hood talk. I'm going to get right into it because we got a limited amount of time and we got to make sure.
A lot to cover.
Yeah, we got a lot to cover. Guys, I'm going to get into this pie right now. Here it is. This is the non-violence pie. All right, so these are the things you want to do in your relationship, Mike. Since we highlighted the things you don't want in it, you don't want abuse, you don't want your spouse, your significant other to be fearful of you. You don't want to, use children as a means of getting at your partner and things like that. So these are the things you do want. Mm-hmm. So you know what, Mike? Let's start with the first piece of the pie.
Right.
Non-threatening behavior. And this talks about talking and acting so that she feels safe and comfortable expressing herself and doing things. And ladies, this goes for the men as well. This is because I was in the men's program. It's focused on doing things towards for your woman to feel these ways. But ladies, if you're the abuser. You know, you should also be learning from this as well. So, you know what, man? You never want someone you're with to be fearful of you. You know, like, I can't imagine that leading to a fruitful, you know, productive, positive relationship. So even though there may be times, you know, people get heated, you know, Mike, sometimes, hey, you know, you can, depending on a certain situation, you might lose your temper. You might feel a little, you know, like frustrated with certain situations, but you should never use threatening behavior to try and get your point across, or try and, you know, maybe quiet your partner down because you feel, heck, you know, like they're really pissing me off right now, and this is the only way for me to get out of it. And you know, I am guilty of using threatening behavior at times, you know, like I have, you know, I got a temper. And it's not to say, like, you know, I'm not a horrible human being or anything. Like, I've never punched anyone in the mouth. You know?
You've threatened it. Sorry. This is something serious. Okay.
Mike, this is a serious matter. But I have pushed at times. I have raised my hand in anger at times, and yeah, it's not, even for me, it's not even a good feeling. You know, when I look back on it, it's like, it's not a good feeling to do these things and then, you know, expect your partner, expect your woman to feel safe around you, you know? So guys, let's try and use behavior where it's like, okay, instead of, you know, snapping and just, you know, resorting to anger, you speak to that person. Hey, babe, you know, let me understand why you're feeling this way. Whether it's like maybe she's feeling frustrated, maybe she's going through her own emotional turmoil at the time. Sometimes, you know, especially like after women have children, there's that whole thing they go through where, you know, the postpartum side of it, where it's like sometimes they start to feel they're not contributing enough to the household, because it's like, okay, they're taking care of the baby, but they're not, you know, providing anything financially. They're not, you know, maybe they're not able to do as much as they like because they're nursing a lot more. So guys, as men, let's try to be understanding of our women. Let's try and, you know, open up the dialogue so that, you know, productive conversations can happen. And it's not just, okay, you get frustrated because, you know, she's maybe, you know, snapping out in ways that you don't expect. And all of a sudden it's like both of you end up just being at each other's throats, you know, figuratively speaking, of course, not literally, you know, but yeah, you know, non-threatening behavior, it's something that's key, you know, for any relationship, any healthy relationship, you know, either side should not be, you know, displaying, threatening behavior. And especially if there's a child in the mix, do you want, you know, for me as a father, I don't want my son seeing that kind of behavior. I don't want him to feel that, hey, this is how you should treat, you know, a woman that you're with.
Yeah, you don't want to feel that hostile and
exactly,
energy.
That energy. Because you know what, Mike? That's something people don't realize. The energy can have a serious impact on the child. The child may not know the words that are being said, may not know the actions that are being displayed, but there's the energy, that aura that's in the room.
Like, we've all been there where
exactly.
when a couple's fighting.
Yeah, and,
like,
you feel the tension. You're just like, whoa, I do not want to be around this right now because I'm feeling what's coming off that,
so
you know?
Just imagine a baby,
just imagine a baby
absorbing
being
everything around them, and then it's
and you know, like, you certainly do not want your child to be in the middle of that. And you know, and if you're a woman, you know, and maybe you're the one displaying, you know, that threatening behavior, you got to think, if you have a son, would you want, you know, when he grows up, would you want the woman he's with to be treating him that way? So you gotta look at it from both ends of the spectrum. As a father, you don't want your son learning that, hey, this is how you treat women. Or if you have a daughter, you don't want, you know, her feeling like, oh, this is how women should be treated by men. And if you have a son, you don't, you know, if you're a mother with a son, you don't want him to grow up and feel like it's okay for his woman to treat him this way. Because sometimes we feel because, you know, there's a difference in terms of physical strength between the genders, that, okay, you know, for a woman to like, you know, backhand a guy, it's not like when the guy backhands the woman. But the one thing we got to look at is bad behavior is bad behavior.
Yes.
That's, you know, that should be universal. You know, there should be no double standards set when it comes to bad behavior and when it comes to either party feeling safe or unsafe in a relationship. So guys, don't use non-threatening behavior. Don't use threatening behavior. So Mike, the next piece of the pie is respect. And you know what? That's a word that it's easy to say, but it's hard to actually act out, you know, and to implement into your daily life. But in terms of respect, it's listening to her non-judgmentally, being emotionally affirming and understanding and valuing her opinions. You know, so sometimes it's like, okay, you know, you feel because, okay, we're two different genders, you know, men and women. Sometimes it's like we're at opposite ends of the spectrum, you know, in terms of our emotions, in terms of how we display our emotions, convey them. Because, you know, like growing up as a man, we're generally taught, hey, you're not supposed to show your emotions like that. You know, you're supposed to be like, you know, like a brick wall, you know. It's just like, okay, yes, we're men, but there's no, you know, you can't show weakness. You know, if you show emotion, it's a sign of weakness. But you know what I've come to realize, Mike? Those guys who aren't fully in tune with the fact that we're human, you know, and human beings have emotions, and there is nothing weak about showing, you know, understanding your emotions and being able to show them. Like, I will tell you this, you know, every now and then I will sit down and I'll do some self-reflecting, you know, and I'll be like, wow, you know what, you know, I will get in tune with myself and with how I'm feeling in that moment, you know, and it helps to keep you focused. It helps to keep you, you know, like centered, because there are times where if you don't deal with those emotions, then you're liable to just like go off the deep end because you're not fully harnessing, you're not fully taking into account, you know, the fact that, hey, it's okay for you to have these thoughts. It's okay for you to, you know, have these emotions as a man. And when it comes to, you know, your spouse, you want to respect the fact that she has her own range of emotions as well. And be able to, you know, speak with her, and just like it says, in a non-judgmental way. You know, sometimes just sitting there and listening goes a long way. You know, but you don't always have to be like giving input and saying, oh, and trying to fix things, you know. Like, that's one thing I always find as a man, is like I try to fix things. I try to be, you know, it's like, yes, I want to understand what she's going through, but I also want to like help her resolve it. And there are times where you got to respect the fact maybe right now isn't the time that she's ready to resolve that.
I find most conversations, like, people just want to vent.
Yeah,
people
they just want to
talk.
vent. Yeah.
People, I'm not, when I tell people stories, I'm not looking for an answer. I just want
to talk to.
I just want to tell it. I just want to put it out there.
This show was built on the premise of venting.
Yeah.
Like when I first thought about this show, I was just like, I just want to go and vent about stuff on the air, you know. And if we're afforded a platform to do so, well, thank you, you know. But yeah, you know, sometimes it's like you just want to be able to. Your partner just wants you to hear them out.
They say, like, people just want you to listen.
Yeah,
just listen.
Just be an ear for them to just speak to.
And it's one of those things. I hope I'm not tricking anyone here, but sometimes you just say yes and you just nod and agree.
And guys, and it's not a matter of being like, yes dear, no dear.
No,
it's just a matter of like respecting the fact that, hey, she needs this time.
I'm listening to your story. I'm on your side here.
Exactly.
I'm hearing it. Please continue. When I say yes and just agreeing,
exactly.
I'm like,
it's you're actually, you know, opening up the opportunity, you're opening up the floor for her to continue to express herself, and you're being respectful of the fact that, hey, because you know what, there are going to be times where you want her to just be that ear, you know, for you to listen to, or for you to speak to, and you know, and she will do that for you. So just like, what you give is what you get sometimes, I find more often than not, sometimes, yes, you have crooked people, but, especially in a relationship, I find what you put in is what you get out of it, So yeah, like, guys, be there, respect the fact that she is her own individual. You're two people that are coming together, yes, but at the same time, respect the fact that she has her own opinions and she's entitled to those opinions. You don't always have to agree. Sometimes we just got to agree to disagree on certain things. Doesn't mean that, there has to be a heated debate over it, but it's just like, okay, you're here, I'm here. Well, hey, how can we both, feel respected by each other, that, we value each other's opinions, but we're still able to hold our opinions, and maintain the stance that we have, even if it's at opposite ends of the spectrum. It's just about understanding, and being respectful of that. So, guys, respect your women. Listen to your women sometimes. In the past, that's something I haven't always done. And I realize that. I'm looking. Sometimes when you look through this stuff, you're just like, yeah, I wasn't always just someone that she could just talk to, and I would just listen to her.
These are also skills that you
got to develop.
You have to learn.
You got to learn these things.
If no one ever really tells you these things,
yeah.
Like, you can easily miss it.
Exactly.
And it's not saying like you don't know how to interact with people. You're just like, I should have done that better.
I could have done better. All right. So the next one, Mike, trust and support. So that's the third pie of third wedge of support. Trust and support. Supporting her goals in life, respecting her right to her own feelings, friends, activities, and opinions. Now, this is something I've always been, adamant when it comes to the person that you're in a relationship with. They should also have their own individual life as well. They should be able to, sometimes it's like there are those really controlling people, like men and women, where it's like, okay, you're with me, you can't be hanging out with this person, and you can't be going out anymore, and you can't have your own social life. No, you know what? We need those outlets in our lives, And if you're a man and you're being controlling of your woman in that respect, guys, you got to be able to allow them to be their own person. Just like we were saying the last time, respect the fact that they're an individual and they have their own opinions and what. Allow them to have their own lives as well.
People need
people
need their own
lives.
life.
I will tell you this: I might go bat crazy if I would just be around the same person 24/7. Can't see anyone else, can't hang out with anyone else. I can't, interact with my family, my friends, and whatnot. No, that's for me at least. That's not what healthy living is. You should be allowed to, interact with the people that that mean a lot to you outside of just your spouse, and you should, both parties should be allowed to do that. It shouldn't just be a matter of, okay, well, you're with me now, you got to do as I say, you got to stay in, you got, when I'm at work, I don't want you going anywhere, you're not allowed to go. No, you know what, because you feel like a caged animal at that point, and I would expect that if that was going on, when you come home at the end of the night, you should expect like a punch in the mouth or something. Because if someone is just trapped, feels, entrapped like that, they're gonna snap. It's just, so guys, allow your partner, allow your and women, allow your men to have friends and
in a relationship you each need separate lives.
Yeah, exactly.
You're together. You can be together,
of course.
You need your individual lives.
At the end of the night, you don't have to worry about, hey, who's is he coming back home or is she coming back home? No, you know what? If you give them that trust and you give them that support, they'll want to come back home. But you know that whole thing, when you're away from the person, it makes you long for them that much more, because you're just like, hey, I've been away from my girl for X number of hours, I miss her now. I want to go back home and I want to see, okay, well, what has she been up to for the last few hours? I want to talk to her. I want to, have a conversation with her and just enjoy.
If you hang out all day together, you have nothing to say.
Yeah, you got nothing. It's just like
I was there. I was there your whole day.
It's like, so babe, how was your day? You've been with me. You've been here. Like, I don't know what more to tell you. So guys, allow her to have her own life, and women, allow your man to have his own life. Now, don't get it twisted, guys. I know sometimes I'm watching TV and I hear about these guys, like, they want to be able to go out like the entire weekend, like literally disappear for days at a time, and like the mother of their child is like home taking guys. That's just being unfair.
Yeah,
that's being unfair. That's not what we're talking about here. Okay, we're talking about, hey, you know what? If it's like, okay, there's like maybe there's some event going on. Let's say, okay, the Raptors are playing, Hey, when he wants to go out and watch the basketball game with his buddies. Or maybe it's like, your girl, hey, it's like girls' night out. They want to go to the movie. Allow them to go out with their friends, allow them to have that time. Because, that helps them to stay mentally, sane. Because I'm telling you, like, you can go stir crazy being in the same apartment around the same person for like weeks, months at a time. Like you're probably gonna like snap at some point in time.
Like you need these things where it's like, hey, at the end of the month we like you got like a boys' night out or a girls' night out, and you look forward to it. Yeah, and like you're like, the only way I'm getting through this month is I know at the end of the month I have a little vacation.
Yeah, exactly.
Like some weeks
I get a little breather, know, and you know what, guys. In order to maintain a healthy relationship, both sides got to maintain that. Both sides have to, allow the other to be their own individual. So trust them, support them. You know what? If they go out with the friend, don't be like blowing up their phone every like minute. It's like, where are you now? What are you doing? Oh, you haven't texted me back in 10 minutes. What's going on? No. Allow them that time. Trust that they're not out there. They're not taking this time to go and like cheat on you or something, If you got that in the back of your mind, then you're never going to be supportive and you're never going to have that trust in your relationship. So just allow them, hey, you know what, babe? All right, I'm going out for a couple hours. I'll be home by 9 o'clock. Now, if it's like a matter of, okay, 9 o'clock comes and goes and it's like 10 o'clock, 11. Okay, then maybe, hey, babe, is everything all right? Just check in with them.
Yeah, but that's a reasonable
thing
to be like.
That's reasonable.
Hey,
exactly.
You said you're going to be here at 9.
Yeah,
it's
like
9:30.
I just want to make sure is everything cool. It's like and maybe you'll find, oh yeah, babe, just stuck in traffic. Whatever the case is, right? But allow them that time to to be with their extended family, to be with their other friends, and just know they're coming back home to you at the end of the night, and you guys will enjoy each other's company that much more because, hey, I know when I'm away from someone I care about like that, I miss them. It's like, all right, cool. I really enjoyed this time with the boys. Hey, had a great time. I saw Mike doing like Jello shots off Paul's stomach. Like
that didn't happen.
It's never happened, guys. I just wanted to throw that in there, but I've never seen that. But
I drew a blank there. I was like, did that happen?
Yeah, no, it didn't. It didn't. I basically took a memory from some other time and I just put your name and Paul's name in it. But yeah, you know what? Enjoy that time, and then when you get back home to your spouse, to your woman, or to your man, you'll enjoy their company that much more. All right, so the fourth piece of the pie, honesty and accountability. Accepting responsibility for self, acknowledging past use of violence, admitting being wrong, communicating openly and truthfully. All right, so guys, you know what? If you're a guy who has, been violent in a relationship, these things we're talking, this is talking about, like acknowledging that, being upfront with that. And sometimes that can be a very hard thing to like actually, face head on, right? Because it's like you got to humble yourself. You got to realize that, hey, you know what? I acted out in a way that I shouldn't have, you know. I responded in a way that was not healthy for our relationship. And sometimes this you can't always look at, okay, how your partner may be acting in that moment, you know, because, you know, sometimes people are just going to be erratic, but you can't control how the other person responds. You can always control how you respond to it, though. You know, so guys, if you're someone who has been, you know, violent, whether it's like minor or it's been excessive, like, you know, you've put her in the hospital or something like that, guys, you got to own up to that. You got to realize that, hey, that is not leading to a healthy relationship. There's no way she's going to feel safe coming back home after that hospital visit, you know? And if you're a woman who has done that to your man, there's no way he's going to feel safe coming back home after that hospital visit, you know? So guys, realize the fact that you got to be honest. This isn't just about being honest with your partner. It's about being honest with yourself as well. You got to be able to look in the mirror and be like, wow, like, you know, why did I do that? What have I become, you know, and what are the steps I need to take to, you know, get out of that, you know, like, because, you know, for me, I never grew up in a violent household. I never saw that kind of behavior from my parents and stuff. So even for me, like, you know, even when it was a matter of like, I pushed, you know, the woman I was with, I felt terrible about it. And it wasn't a matter of, okay, I pushed her face into a wall or something, but even just pushing her away from me, it's like I felt like I shouldn't have done that. But, you know, it's like, depending on the situation, you may be pushing to actually maintain your safety as well. So you gotta, you know, there are different contexts to the situation, but even in that regard, it's like I still felt like I maybe should have just walked out of the room rather than push her away from me. Or it's like I should have, you know, removed myself from the situation, because I'm not used to seeing a man put his hands on a woman in any way, you know, except for love and passion, you know. But yeah, guys, if you are someone who's, you know, been violent in your, like, you know, excessively violent, especially, like, I mean, if you've punched your woman in the mouth, and like, I don't know, for me it's like nothing could ever happen that would, you know, excuse that type of reaction, you know. It's like, just remove yourself from the situation, you know. If that's the case, if you feel in order for you to be safe that you had to retaliate by, you know, punching her in the mouth, in the face, or in the stomach, or anything like that, or kicking her or whatnot, just leave, you know. Just leave, because, you know, you got to be honest with yourself, and you got to hold yourself accountable. And if you're able to justify that kind of behavior, you know what? It only leads to that behavior continuing on, whether you're with that person or not. Because maybe things won't work out with that person, but then the next person you're with is like, well, hey, yeah, you know, like, I punched the last one in the mouth, but she came at me with a knife, you know? It's like, look, if someone's coming at you with a knife, you probably shouldn't be there. Like, just say like, whoa, yeah, that's been taken to a level that I'm no longer comfortable with, and I'm gonna have to leave this relationship. So yeah, you know what, guys, always, you know, be honest with yourself, hold yourself accountable. So even if your partner may not be maintaining that same standard, at least, you know, you've maintained your character. You've maintained that standard for yourself. And safety, you know, that's what this boils down to, Mike. You know, like, safety in a relationship for both sides is so important, you know, and it's just, you can't, you know, undermine how much safety means. You know, you want to feel safe when you're coming home from work. You want to feel like, hey, I'm going into a place where I'm going to be respected when I walk through the door. I'm going to feel loved when I walk through the door. The last thing you want is to feel like I might have a bowl thrown at my head when I walk through the door, or I might have a broomstick in my face when I walk through the door, or a butcher knife. Like, you're not gonna want to go home. Like,
that's not a good mental place to be.
Yeah,
either.
exactly. You know, so guys, you know, be honest with yourself, hold yourself accountable, and you know, and the same for women. You know, if you're the abuser in a relationship, you know, hold yourself accountable, be honest with yourself, and see maybe where you've gone wrong throughout all this, you know. But hey, Mike, you know what, man? That's the first half of the pie.
Okay, yeah.
So we're gonna take a commercial break. You know, this is the first time in like ages I've kicked to a commercial, Mike. So
were you like kicking to commercials in real life?
Yeah, you know, it's
like after the sandwich, we'll be right back.
Yeah, it's like I'll be sitting there at Timmy's, just like I just finished like my chicken sandwich, just like, after this bite, we'll be right back. You know, it's like, so yeah, like I've been kicking the commercials, you know, to myself. Now I get the chance to do it on air again. So, you know what, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with the second half of Hood's Goods. Man, episode 49. This is like a reunion. I feel like Mike is my brother that I haven't seen in like 10 years. And he's still just as attractive as I left him last time.
He got more cuter.
Yeah, you know.
Ruggedly good looks.
He's good. But hey, we'll be right back, guys. Stay tuned.
So, Brent, what's the name of your book again?
Straight Hood.
Oh, and who sponsors Straight Hood?
Straight Hood.
So, Straight Hood is sponsored by Straight Hood.
Yeah, that's right. Bookception. Whew, man, that was the first commercial, you know, first kick to a commercial I've done in some time now, man. But you know what, guys?
I'm gonna try doing that in real life. Just kick into commercials.
Yeah.
You know,
in
the middle of a conversation with somebody.
Just like randomly in
right
conversation.
Back,
yeah.
When we come right back, you'll hear the answer.
Yeah, you know, like seriously, I'm gonna start like just confusing people with that now. Just like, did you just kick to a commercial? Yep. I did it. It's like, you'll get that answer when I return in 5 minutes. It's like, dude, I really need that answer now. Like, are you gonna be at the meeting or not? 5 minutes, you know. But hey, welcome back, guys. I know it's been a while. You know what, Mike? People have been asking, just like, where's Mike? Where's Brentt?
Same, man. Same.
Like we've missed our weekly dosage of the goods, you know. So, guys, we got together this weekend. I'm glad we were able to make it happen. Episode 49 is going on right now, and we're gonna get right back into the equality pie, Mike.
Yeah.
So we covered the first half of it. Now we're gonna get into the second half. And guys, for those of you who were, you know, wondering, Mike actually wanted to do a 45-minute episode, and I had to let Mike know that just don't happen.
like I was like, hey, you know what?
Maybe we can make this happen. No,
because
like,
folks, this is what I was thinking. I was like, let's record 2 episodes.
Yep, he wanted to do back to back,
just in case next week doesn't work out. So like, you know, but you know,
yeah. But one thing
I was thinking of you. I was thinking of you people.
He was thinking of you guys. He didn't account for Brentt just talks. So yeah, you know, we already covered over half an hour just in the first half. So I gotta limit myself to an hour. You know, like that's me, like, you know, dialing it down. You know, but man, you know, if people could understand, you know, the stories that are in my head, Mike. I mean, Mike's heard a lot of them. You know, Mike. I mean, like, I could just go on for hours if I just said, like, I'd just be sitting there, like, yeah, you know, first time I ever got caught doing this, and you know, first time I got caught stealing at Max. It's like, man, pocket full of chocolate bars just busted right out of my pocket, man. But hey, getting back to our equality pie. The next wedge is responsible parenting. So this is a key one. Especially if you have a child in the mix, responsible parenting is definitely something you want to keep in mind. So sharing parental responsibilities, being a positive, non-violent role model for the children, you know, and of course, like just like I was touching on earlier, the last thing you want your child last example of how his mom and dad get along that you want to see is, oh, mom, gets mad at dad pushes her into a wall. Mom pulls a butcher knife, dad punches her in the face. Like, that's a sequence that no child should have to see, Definitely both parents, you got to share the responsibility. There are going to be times like we always feel, I guess in our society, sometimes you feel like, hey, it's the woman's job to raise the child, like I'm not gonna touch that baby till that child's like 6 months old, I'm not gonna be changing diapers and bathing and whatnot. Mike, I was never that type of father. I always said from day one, I will wipe my son's butt happily.
I'll do it with a smile.
Yeah, I will do it with a smile. Like, I've been pooped on, Mike. Projectile pooping is a crazy thing. Like, it just flies, But when I got it right on my cheek, man, like right on my left cheek, he nailed me on my shirt, my pants, and like he covered me. Mm-hmm. And I laughed. I was like, and he was laughing, It's like, a little 3-month-old baby just projectile pooped on me. But I loved it, man. I love every aspect of being a father. And man, I will tell you this, spend as much time with your children as you can, because once they get older, they don't remember daddy no more, Like, they'll respect you and everything, but it won't be a matter of, hey, instead of hanging out with my friends, let me hang out with dad for So guys, enjoy this time, especially when from birth to like 5 years old. That's when you really gotta make a stamp on their life. That's when they'll really see, hey, you know what, my dad has been there for me from day one. And if you have a son, you want to teach your son good qualities, good values in life, good virtues. You want your son to grow up to be a better man than you are, And that's one thing I always said. I'm like, look, if my son can be a better man than me, I'm content. Whatever path it is he chooses to take in life, I don't need him to like go and work at Nike, Mm-hmm. Well, then he already has so many shoes. I mean, I think we've spoiled him too much, But yeah, it's like if my son can be a better man than I am, I'll be so proud, man. Whatever path he decides to head in life, I will support him, in everything he does, as long as it's something productive. Like, I don't want to find out that he's like downtown on like at Church and Bloor, doing blow in an alley.
Specific? Okay.
Yeah, very specific. In my,
but yeah. You don't want
but
that.
You know what I mean. Yeah. But yeah, guys, and co-parenting, even if it's a matter of, okay, you're with someone, it didn't work out, being co-parents to the child and doing what's best in the interest of the child. Putting the child first. Whatever animosity you guys may have between each other, that child should never feel any of that. Mm-hmm. The child shouldn't be like, a therapist for like mom or dad to speak to and say, oh, I'm not with your father anymore because he was this and he was that. Because the opinion that the child has of his father doesn't necessarily match the opinion you have of his father. Mm-hmm. And same thing for fathers. You shouldn't be, I left your mother because she was this and she was that. No. That child should always feel love from both parents and should never feel like, it's mom against dad and, dad thinks he's better because this and mom thinks she's... No. That child should just know, hey, when I'm with mom, I feel loved so much. Mom does these things with me that... and when I'm with dad, the same feeling, he should feel happy, he or she or they, if you have multiple children together, they should feel happy sharing that time with both parents, and it should be equal sharing of the responsibility. So, take care of your children, put the child's needs first. All right. Mm-hmm. Now the next thing is shared responsibility. So we just talked about, responsible parenting and doing what's right, sharing the parenting responsibility. Now, this is just sharing responsibility just in general throughout the relationship. Mutually agreeing on a fair distribution of work. Making family decisions together, So sometimes it's like we'll feel, okay, well, I'm the man of the household. I'm the one that has the say in what's going to happen and this and that. No, you know what, guys? This is 2018 we're in, Mike. This is not 1950, So women should feel, empowered to have as much say in the relationship as the man does. And, it should be really equal now at this point, It shouldn't, not even 60-40. It should really feel like 50-50. Because even if it's something, it's a matter of maybe one party is responsible for taking care of that matter, but both people involved should feel like they have input in it, So even if it's a matter of, okay, the father may be the one who's, financially supporting the household in terms of, okay, it's his job that's bringing in, he's the breadwinner, quote unquote, The mother should also feel like, hey, even though he's the one bringing in the money, I also have fair say in how that money is distributed. Okay, this is how much is being brought in every couple weeks or whatever. If you're being paid on a monthly basis, weekly basis, whatever money is coming in, both parties should feel like, hey, you know what? I have fair say in saying how it should be distributed throughout our household. Okay, you know what? We need to focus on this week. We gotta take care. Maybe you just had a newborn. Okay, we gotta get a new crib, get the baby's room ready. All right, let's designate money, to go towards that. All right, we got to go out and make, purchase a new car, whatever the case is. All right, let's designate money towards that. So even if it's a matter of one person is responsible for it, both people should feel that they have, the same amount of input in regards to that matter. And, when it comes to things at home even, just sharing the responsibility as it pertains to house duties, housework. Like, I've never been of the mindset where it's like, well, it's the woman's responsibility to take care of the dishes, vacuum, sweep, do the laundry. No, I love, Mike, I'll be honest, I love doing laundry. Don't you just love that fresh laundry? Like when it's just out of the dryer and it's nice and warm, it's so toasty, and you put it on right away. You're just like, oh.
I don't do it often, but I do enjoy like folding all my shirts.
Yeah.
And then you like a nice stack.
And it's nice and stacked.
And then you have it for the whole week.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh, I'm going to do this every laundry day.
And you know what? And you just feel so proud of yourself too. You're just like, man, I folded all that laundry. And it's like, I've always been meticulous in terms of how I separate it as well. I got to keep things organized. In fact, right now I got a pile of laundry sitting at home. When I get home, I'm gonna fold that laundry, Mike. I'm gonna fold it.
It's funny. I'd say me, but Jonah helped me do a load of laundry. Not because she did laundry, just that she was like, "Oh, I'll put a load of laundry in for you," and I didn't want to get up, so I was like, "Yeah, that sounds great.
Hey, thanks, babe."
But now I have a pile of clean clothes. I'm probably not going to fold it. It's just going to go back into a bag. Take it back home.
Take it back home. Exactly. It's like, nice. but even, it comes to doing the dishes. I like doing dishes sometimes, not all the time. I mean, sometimes when you look and you see that full, sink of dishes, you're just like, oh, dang it, But yeah, you know what, guys? Share the responsibility between both people. Don't feel because, okay, maybe she's taking a year off work to nurse your child that, hey, well, she's got to take care of all the household stuff. You're the one bringing home the bacon, so she's got to take care of her part at home. No, you know what? Share that responsibility. Help her out, because I'm telling you this, nursing, taking care of a child, it is draining. Like, I've never breastfed, but I know from speaking to women who have, like, it can be exhausting on the body, like when your son wants, every couple hours, he's ready to, lean over and like take a full load of milk, you know, it can be very exhausting. It can be taxing on her body. So maybe she may not be able to, breastfeed, and then she's up and, she's vacuuming and sweeping So take a load off of her. Even, you come home from work, you may say, hey, babe, I'm going to relax for maybe half an hour, just unwind a little bit, and then I'm going to take care of those dishes. Or, hey, you know what? The floor needs to be swept. I'm going to do the sweeping. I'm going to pull out the Swiffer wet jet, So even if it's a matter of, she's the one at home on a full-time basis, share the responsibility equally, because I'm telling you this, raising a child, being a full-time parent to a child is not easy, Yes, that baby sleeps a lot. And yes, that baby, it's not like the baby's always going to be running around and whatnot, and she doesn't have to always chase after the child. But there are other things that, it makes it very, very hard on the woman, So take some of that load off, guys. All right, the next piece of the pie is economic partnership.
Okay.
Making money decisions together, making sure both partners benefit from financial arrangements. Now, I touched on this briefly with the shared responsibility and whatnot, and you'll notice these things all seem to tie in together, right? If you have one, if you display non-threatening behavior, it's going to make your partner feel respected. If you respect your partner, you will have that trust and that support, from them. If you show them that trust and support, then you can be honest with them, you can be accountable, and they can feel the same with you. If you have honesty and accountability, it leads to responsible parenting. So all these things are sort of like intertwined together, So economic partnership, just like I talked about with money decisions. Even if you're the breadwinner and she's the one taking the time off work, or maybe she's not even taking time off work. Maybe she's just this, you've spoken as, husband and wife, man and woman, and you've decided, okay, she wants to be, or she is going to be like, a full-time homemaker, so it's not even a matter of her going back to work after a year off maternity leave. She's going to be the permanent parent at home, regardless of however many children you have. She should still feel empowered to have input into how the money is used, how the money is divided. And you know what? Hey, give her a little cash on the side. Like one thing I've realized, for us as men, we don't really put much stock into it, at least for me as a man. But, typically speaking, women do enjoy being a little pampered every now and then. So you know what? Hey, it's like, babe, all right, go get your hair done. Like, I think you look beautiful regardless. I don't need you to get your hair done. But if it's something you need to do to make yourself feel good, hey, sure, Here's a few bucks. Go take care of your hair. Go get your nails done. And go buy a new dress. We're going out to dinner this Friday. We're gonna go have a date night, whatever the case is. But little things like that will also help her to feel that she's respected, that she's an important part of the relationship. So designate some money to her. Like maybe you don't need it, but I'll be honest with you, Mike. I've gotten into the pampering thing a little bit in regards to like massages, like, cause you're working long hours. Sometimes you just want to, you want to take a load off, and you want to do something where when you go to a professional massage therapist, like you leave there feeling so much better.
Oh yeah.
It's they know how to hit all the pressure points that'll just make you melt, man. In fact, the last few sessions I've fallen asleep right on the tip. Like I pass right out, because the massage therapist, I go, she's great, she does a great job. But hey, you know what? I've even heard about guys massaging, a male massage therapist massaging the man, and it's just as good. You know what, guys, do not feel any kind of way.
No. Like, so I get it. Like, at some point, I'm like, oh, dude, I just want an elbow just right in there.
Just right in my shoulder blade.
And I'm like, I don't think this small framed woman has the power to do it.
Exactly. So hey, guys, sometimes as men we're just like, no, I'm not letting another man massage me. Forget that. No, you know what, yo. Guys, they're professionals.
Yeah.
Now, if the man all of a sudden starts groping you, well, that's something different, right? But these are professionals. They are paid to be professional. Don't feel any kind of way like, yo, I don't want no dude touching me. All right? They are professionals, okay? But yeah, like, I enjoy that now, man. Like, usually every week or every couple of weeks I'll go get a massage done, and it has done wonders for me.
Nice.
Like, where I felt like I was gonna have like hip replacement down, I think I may have avoided it.
Right on.
I think I may have staved it off for another like 10 years. Like,
yeah. I mean, these are like one of the things is just like. These things really do help in the long run to help you realign the body.
Yeah, exactly.
And your overall health.
Like, your overall health. Like, my posture actually feels much better now. Like, I sit upright,
This is something that I got to learn to do too. But like, I'm guessing you got massages because your work is covering for a portion of it.
Oh yeah.
I was like,
they cover all of it.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. So like,
that's the best part.
That's something that I got to start doing too.
Yeah.
It's like, I have all these benefits and things waiting for me, but I never use them.
You know what, Mike? I'll be honest with you. For like the year and a bit that I was with Nike, I never took advantage of this stuff. And then finally, like I was just like, you know what? Let me look into this. And yeah, man, it's covered. So I was like, I'm taking advantage of that, and so every year I got $1,000 worth of massages for free.
That's
and dude, that's like 20 a year to place.
Oh wow,
man.
That's
I'm
amazing,
good.
dude.
I'm good with that.
Every other week, that's
every
good.
other week.
You're like on payday, I go get a massage.
Exactly, go get a massage, man. So it's great, So guys, do things like that, not just for yourself, but for your woman. You know what? Make sure she feels taken care of. If she likes to go out, I know women, they like their facials and stuff like that, generally speaking. Allow her to have that time. Allow her to, have the money, have the finances put aside to have that personal time, where she can pamper herself. And allow her to make decisions when it comes to the use of the money. Just because you're the one working and bringing it in doesn't mean that she has done any less to, have a say in how that money should be divided within the household. Because the household, it's both of you that are contributing to the household, So respect her
and like
opinion
you may
with that.
You may not see you may not see the big picture.
Yeah,
you both may not see it.
Exactly.
But working together,
Working
you're like,
together.
oh, now you. If both of you miss something, that's your fault.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
You worked on it together. You're most likely not going to miss something.
Exactly.
Two heads are better than one.
And it goes back to you can hold each other accountable then too. And you can working together. To make sure that the household, that the relationship, that the children benefit from the efforts that both sides are putting in. All right, Mike, and now we're moving on to the last piece of the pie. Negotiation and fairness. And fairness, man. Seeking mutually satisfying resolutions to conflict. Accepting change. Being willing to compromise. So, when it comes when it comes to negotiation and fairness, both sides, again, this goes back to both sides, being able to have input in how the relationship is going to operate and how the household is going to work. Compromise is a thing that is very difficult sometimes. It's like, it's easy to say the word, but it's hard to actually implement it into your regular life, because it's like, especially at times where it's like you're at one end and the other person's at the opposite end. It's like, where do you find a common ground where both of you feel respected, where both of you feel like, hey, you know what? Even though we may have started at opposite ends, we've managed to meet in the middle. So guys, this is something that it takes a lot of practice, you know, and you may not be perfect at doing it, but you got to start bit by bit, you know, even if it's a matter of, hey, you know what, she may have said to you, oh, babe, I'm going to be the one that takes care of everything at home. You don't have to worry about that. And maybe you just get accustomed to that, you know? But it doesn't mean at some point you can't say, hey, you know what, babe? No, like, you don't have to do everything at home. Let me help you with that, you know? And women, if your man is trying to help out at home, let that man help at home. You know, like there's something like, you know, they take it like a personal attack, like, oh, what, you try to say I'm not doing a good enough job? No. No, don't look at it that way. Realize, hey, he's seeing the fact that you do so much around here, and he's trying to meet you halfway. He's trying to, you know, compromise with you in terms of how much workload you're doing, you know. And guys, you know, there has to be a meeting of the minds, you know, like there has to be an open discussion where, you know, you guys can come to a compromise in terms of how to resolve any issues you may have, whether it's, you know, with parenting, whether it's with money, whether it's with just your regular values, you know, as an individual. You know, you don't always have to agree on everything 100%. I mean, when you're two different people, that's like a lot of the times that's not going to be the case, you know, unless it's just like you're like two of the same person, you know. Very rarely does that happen, you know. But there are going to be things that obviously, yes, you will see eye to eye on from the start. But those things that you don't see eye to eye on, be willing to compromise, be willing to, you know, give a little bit so that you can get a lot, you know, throughout the entirety of the relationship. Be willing to, you know, put your ego behind you, you know. Sometimes, like, we put our egos first, you know. We don't think about how the other person may feel and what we just put ourselves first, and it ends up causing so much more turmoil in the relationship. It ends up causing so much more struggle and conflict that is unnecessary, you know. So accept change. You know, part of there's a saying I heard a few years ago, you know, and it says, if you don't grow, you don't change. If you don't change, you're not truly living. You know, because part of being a person is just like evolving, maturing. Like, I'm not the same person today at 35 as I was at 15, you know. I'm not the same person at 35 as I was at 25. It's like there are going to be those core values that within yourself that will stay the same, but you know, beyond that, you should continue to evolve, continue to grow and mature as a person, and bring that into your relationship, you know, bring that change and respect the change that your partner also brings into the relationship, you know. But guys, that's what I got to say on that whole pie, you know. And what this all boils down to, guys, is having a safe, healthy, fruitful, loving, caring, all those beautiful words, relationship. All right. So respect your women. You know, if you're a man, respect your woman. If you're a woman, respect your man. And remember, if you have children, put the needs of that child first. Do not put, you know, as soon as you have a child, you abandon putting yourself first. You know, that child becomes the priority, because that child did not choose to be brought into this world. That child did not choose to come into a relationship, whether it's like, you know, if it's a high conflict relationship, that child did not choose that. So put your ego behind you. Put that child first. Remember, that child, you know, should be loved by both parents. That child should have time with both parents. And that child should not, you know, be put in the middle as like used as a chess piece or a pawn, or, you know, like a tug of war between, okay, you know, come to dad's side, come to mom's side. No, that child should just feel loved by mom and dad.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what, Mike? That's what I got to say on that matter. Coming up next week, I got a little hood talk for the people, Mike. You know, so I'll keep that under wraps for now. How much time we got there, Mike?
We're at 65 minutes.
Oh my goodness. You see what happens when Mike says, let's just do 45 minutes. It doesn't happen. In fact, I talk longer than I used to. But you know what? We're going to wrap it up. We want to thank everyone who is able to tune in, whether it's through Facebook Live. Shout out to Knowledge Bookstore, man. Like, man, you know, Sean's going to be like, dang, I haven't heard a new episode from these guys in some time. But you know what, Sean? We got a brand new one coming your way. And, you know, we just want to continue to thank everyone who, you know, for those people who are just like, yo, dude, when am I getting the goods? You know, like, you know, guys, we brought a brand new one out for you guys. If you want to go visit Knowledge Bookstore, they are still located at 179 Queen Street West in the Brampton, Ontario area. You know, you can always tell them Brentt and Mike sent you down there. Tell them that you want to see where we record whenever we go there, and just go down there and just see how that place is. It's a beautiful place, man. We're gonna have to certainly make a visit down there sooner rather than later.
Yep.
And we'll see. Maybe one of these weekends we'll take a road trip, Mike.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what? Thank you for all those of you who you know, continue to tune in, support the show, and I apologize to Mike for going 20 minutes at least over the amount of time he wanted to.
No, it's great. It feels good doing this again. And
we're back. We're back at it.
And,
exactly.
Yeah.
So you know what, guys? Hopefully next week we'll be able to get together again.
Yeah.
Episode 50. Man.
Oh man.
The big 5-0, man.
This is what we talked about it from the start.
We talked about it from the start. We're almost there. You know what? And we always got something special in mind for. At least I always got something special.
Oh yeah,
in mind
we should do a really good.
I know.
Yeah,
you know, Mike. My mind has been working. My mind has been working on it. But you know what, guys? Stay tuned. You know what? I'm thinking it would be a great thing to do the relaunch of the book, maybe for like episode 60.
Oh
you
yeah.
know? So I'm thinking, that would be so. Fuse. I'll keep you posted on that. We'd love to have you down there. Bring your equipment down, man. But hey, you know what, Mike? That's episode 49. It's a wrap.
All right.
So, you know, say goodbye to the people.
Everybody, thank you for a great show, and goodbye.
Guys, thank you for Fuse says maybe we should visit him. Fuse, it's penciled in, man. It's penciled in. All right, guys, have a good week. Take care. Bye.